Hi guys, thanks for checking out my channel again. This week's video I'm going to be working on Xboxes. So I have 11 Xboxes there to take apart, so I'll take them apart and see what I'm left with at the end of them. So again, as I said, start the channel, please subscribe, like, comment, share, whatever you want, and we'll get on with the video. Very important, safety first. So again, gloves, so I'll be using gloves. This video I'll use a chisel, I'll be using some screwdrivers, I'll be using the pliers, or pliers as we call it here. So I'm using the pliers, adjustable, so I can adjust it in or out. So what we'll do is we'll take apart the 360 and we'll see what's inside of it. At the end of the video I'll be sharing what I'm going to be doing next week on the video. So it's something I've been asked to do by a subscriber, so I'll do it next week. Hopefully I can get around to it if I have the time. It's going to involve a lot of stuff that I have to process at the moment, so it's stuff I've lying around. I want to get onto it anyhow, so if I can I'll try and do a video on it. So this are 360 Xbox, so it's just your standard 360 Xbox. Again, as I say in all the videos that I do, you'll always get more money if this is working by doing it, selling it on eBay, than scrapping it out. So we'll start off by, what I do is usually I remove the covers, so we'll just remove the covers. Yeah. Just a matter of pulling that off. So once I've released it with the chisel, I'll just pull that off. Sorry about the camera moving. So again, we'll do the same on the other side. Actually, we might remove the front cover first. So we might remove this front part here first. So again, we'll get the chisel and we'll get in behind the cover if we can. Bit awkward. So you can see there I've lifted the bottom cover, so I'll remove that. So once we have that removed, that should give me a bit more access here to take off the front cover. So hopefully it'll lift off for me. So now we've removed the bottom, the top and the front cover. So when you remove the front cover, you'll notice that we have clips here, we have a warranty seal here, and we'll have clips at each end. So again, what I'll do is I'll use the chisel and I'll usually just pry down inside of there to release the clips. So again, where the warranty seal is, it can be a bit harder to find where the clip is, so sometimes you might need to scrape it off a bit first to see where the actual clip is. So it seems to be on this side. So we release these down to get in behind it. Okay, so now I can see where it is. So again, I'll just put the chisel in behind it and just pry it away, and then we'll move on to the next clip. So that has released the cover now, so just a matter of bending back the cover and releasing the cover. So we've released the cover on it. So as you can see, when we release the cover, we're left with all these screws that have to be removed. So what I'm going to do is I'll remove these screws. So some of them will be longer, some will be shorter screws. So I'll remove all these screws, and I say it's easier now to remove every screw you see than not. So as you can see, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, there's about 20 screws there roughly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video, I'll remove all them screws from this, and when I come back we'll have all the screws removed and we'll move on to the next stage on it. Okay, so we've removed all the screws from the case body. at the moment. So as you can see, there's quite a few, quite an amount of screws inside an Xbox 360 holding it together. So once you've removed all them screws, that should allow me to remove the rest of the casing from the body. So that was straightforward. Once we've all the screws out, remove the casing. The casing just made out of plastic and a bit of steel. So again, you can separate out the steel, put it with your steel, and then you have your recyclable plastic then, okay? Now, inside of it, when we take a quick look, I can see the CD-ROM, I can see some aluminium there for cooling the processors, a bit of just a plastic cover, and we have our fans. We'll also have our connections where our Xbox connected with the controllers, with the power supply and stuff like that. So I'll try and remove this CD-ROM next, or CD player. So again, that is just some cables connecting it to the body. So again, straightforward, just a regular DVD reader. So again, I'll collect them up. I'll do a video in the future where I take them apart. We'll have a look inside them, see if there's any boards that contain gold. Is there any other precious metals that may be worth collecting up? So we'll leave that aside and we'll do another video on that at some stage. So then a quick look inside. As I was saying, we have our connections here, so we can remove them from the board. Okay, so having a quick look inside the connections, I can see that there's some gold connectors inside of there. So again, I'll collect them up with the rest of my gold bearing connectors and process them at a later date. I can't tell if there's any gold inside of there. Looking at it, I'd say there's very little if there is any, but we'll collect them up anyhow. So next job is to take the board away from the body if possible. So, or actually no, we'll go to the front here at the controls. So here at the front, we have your controls where your on-off switches, stuff like that we're at. So again, we have a few screws holding in that, so we'll just remove them quickly and we'll see what's on this little board. So I can see already on this board that we have a little bit of gold flashing, and let me see what else we have there. We have some switches which should have little gold or little silver connectors inside of. Usually you'd have a little connector of silver for in there on them switches, so we should get a little bit of silver connections in there, or contacts. Okay, so we have that board taken out. So again, that board is connected to the main board by a USB connection. So inside of that USB connection, again, I can see there's little traces of gold, so little gold connections again. So again, we can get in, and if we look at the board itself, so we have gold flashing, a little bit of gold flashing, a little bit of gold flashing, gold flashing. So that'd be very, very thin gold, engineered gold. So it'll be very light covering, because you can even see where some of it has actually wore away on the board. So that is a very, very thin gold, but nevertheless it's gold. We have a little IC chip, crystal oscillator, which some will contain gold, most will contain a bit of silver. A little IC chip here again on the back. Again, we have some gold connections or gold flashing on the board. So all in all, little basic enough board with some gold connections. So we'll just have a look under this to see if there's anything underneath here. No, underneath that. So that's again just a bit of plastic, and there was nothing really underneath there. So that's that part of the board taken apart. So we'll go back to the main board again. So we'll have a quick look at the main board again, see can we loosen them out. So main board now should just pull away from the rest of the casing. So what's left now on the steel casing, a little bit of plastic and the fans. Again, some people, I've seen these fans for sale on eBay where they take them out of there. If the fans are still working, they'll sell them to hobbyists who might want them for a little project they're doing. So just take them apart, put them up on eBay, take them off that case. So I'm not going to bother taking them out of that case because I have no interest in them fans. So that case again is mainly steel, so that can go with your steel. Looking at the board itself, again we have a nice PGA chip here, which will contain gold bonding wires. So in future video I'll show you how I get these off the boards. Now I have shown in other videos, so if you want to look back at some of the videos you will see how I remove them. One method. I have another method of removing them as well, which I'll show in a future video. Again, we'll have IC chips, a lot of IC chips on this board. On the back, again, we have some IC chips, and we have two brackets holding on the heat sinks, the aluminium heat sinks. So to remove them, what I usually do is I usually put a chisel in underneath and just twist that chisel till it pops it off. So till it pops off, and then we move to another corner. I'll do the same again until it pops off. Now once you get two off on the same side, you should be able to remove the other one by just prying against it and just pulling back, and that will remove it. So that then should allow my heatsink to come away from the board. So there we have a little aluminium heatsink. So again, I'll put that with my aluminium, bit of copper. So if you want, you can get a chisel, chisel that away, put it in a vise and chisel that copper off the bottom. Take the copper off here and they're left with aluminium. So we have a bit of aluminium there. It's quite a good weight on it. So as I can see, we still have aluminium and aluminium. So again, on the back, I'll go back to here. And we'll keep the chisel in there. And I'll try and remove that again. So I'll just remove one side. Try and move another side. That's it. So that's, again, a little bit of steel, so it can go into your steel pile, and where aluminium has been removed from it again. So copper and aluminium. So nice little bit of aluminium inside your Xbox 360s there. So we had two nice lumps of aluminium. At the end, I'll weigh up these out of the 11 Xboxes that I take apart. I'll weigh it out and see how much aluminium we get. So this gives us an idea of what value of aluminium on it. The boards, as I said, I won't be doing much on today. I'm just taking them apart, giving a quick look through them. So IC chips, again, these are the main processing chips on them. What I'm seeing online is that there seems to be not much gold in them, or no gold if any. But I'll still probably take them off the board. I'll keep them separate and I'll process them just for an experiment at some stage, just to see if there's any gold at all inside of them. That's the way I like to do it. We also have copper, so we'll have some copper here. We've copper, a lot of copper along here, more copper here. So again, we have a bit of copper there we can collect off the board. So they'll be straightforward. You can break them off the board. I'd say they come off fairly easy by the looks of them. So we can just break them off, pull them off with pliers, and then you'll have your copper from that. Same with these can be pulled off the board with the pliers. You get your copper from that. So all in all, we're fairly straightforward to take apart that Xbox. So I'll take apart the rest of them. We'll come back and we'll see what I had quantity wise: boards, CD drive or DVD readers. The chips I'll be leaving on the board for this stage. I'll process them at a later stage. So watch the video all the way through, because at the end I'll be talking about what I'm going to do for next week's video. And what I'm hoping to get done for next week's video. So I'm going to pause the video there. When I come back, we'll have everything taken apart. We'll have all the rest of the Xboxes taken apart, and we'll just do a quick look at what we got. Thank you. Okay, so I've taken apart the 11 Xboxes. So what I've ended up with in aluminium is nearly 4 kgs, 3.8 kgs of aluminium from the 11. So that's a nice haul of aluminium there from the Xboxes. So that's probably one of the main things you'll find in them is the aluminium. Now on the boards, as I said, we'll just do a quick recap. So we've got your boards with your IC chips. You have them with your BGAs. You'll have gold connectors usually inside of here as well. On the USB connections you'll have gold. On the actual power connections you'll have gold. A little bit of gold inside usually, or it might be copper, but I'll double check that when I take them apart fully for future videos. So again, we have some, I can see in here we have some gold connections in here. We also have some gold connections in here, gold connections in here, gold connections in along here, and again in the USBs here we'll have gold connections. So again I've ended up with 11 boards which will have IC chips and gold connections. I've ended up with 11 of these type boards, which again has some gold flashing on them, a little bit of gold in the USB, a little bit of silver inside. We'll have a little bit of silver inside the switches. Crystal oscillators contain silver. Some might be lucky enough you might find some with gold in them. Again, some IC chips again on the back. So that's what I've ended up in there, and I've also ended up with 11 of the DVD readers. So again, we'll take them apart in future videos. So I just want to grab something there now. So for next week's video, what I'm going to be working on, hopefully, if I can get time to get around to it, is all the boards that I've collected up. So all the computer boards, the motherboards, stuff like that, how I remove all the parts from them, how I get these off, how I get off all the little IC chips, all the VGAs, all the little connectors down here, even these, how I remove these, where your CPU connected up to it, your RAM slots, how I removed all them. So I'll be doing that on a few boards. So I have a lot of boards too. So I'll do it on the Xbox boards I've just taken apart as well. I'll show you how I do it on them. It'll be the same method I've used for them all. So again, how I get all these chips off. As you can see, this board here, I tried one method before where I was using the pliers to try and remove them, but it's not as efficient as the method I'm going to use on the video that I'll be doing next week. So what I'll be doing next week, hopefully we'll be removing them using a heat gun. So I'll be using a heat gun, showing you how I remove all these, collect all the parts up. I'll separate them out then and put all the IC chips together, put all the VGAs together, put all the crystal oscillators, the MLCCs, stuff like that. So that's what I'll be doing on next week's video, hopefully. So subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the little bell symbol so that you can get a notification of when any new videos up. So until next week's video, thanks for tuning in and thanks for watching.